What's up, everybody? I'm John Middlekauff. You know what I need you to do. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. We got content for days reacting to every NFL game all the time, every single day. Subscribe, like the videos. Let's go. Okay, we had some breaking news today that was pretty clear. When you lose to the Porta Potty Panthers, as they're referred to on this podcast, you get fired. There really is no coming back to losing to the Panthers and essentially letting Bryce Young have a game-winning drive on you. It's a fireable offense. And as news broke this morning, Dennis Allen has been relieved of his duties and fired. I think no one is shocked. They've lost 7 straight games. And I know Mickey Loomis, who I'm sure is going to survive this and get to pick another coach, said they had a rash of injuries, and that is true. They had a lot of injuries, even relative to the sport where a lot of guys get injured. But 7 games is pretty bad. You know, I mean, to lose to the Panthers is just unforgivable. It really is. And, you know, I think back when Sean Payton, he quit on the Saints. Sean Payton quit on the Saints, and they just went with Dennis Allen because he was kind of there. And maybe it was Sean Payton's idea in the sense of, if I quit now, I don't really want to be here. The franchise, we got some major quarterback question marks. I can just get my guy the head coaching job, and then I'll become a head coach in a year, and we'll figure this out, and I'll make a ton of money. Maybe it wasn't that deep. Maybe it was just simple as like, I quit, and they were like, he's already here. We like him. Because you read the quotes from Loomis, from the owner. They clearly like this guy. I think Dennis Allen is a likable human being. He's a really good defensive coordinator, terrible head coach. He really is just not a good head coach, not dynamic enough. I've been saying this for a long, long time. Most human beings, if you got any ambition to you, you got any competitiveness to you, want a shot at being the top dog, want to be the guy at the head of the table in whatever industry you're in. But there is a small percentage of people who are truly built for it to be successful at it. Well, the best part in the NFL, even if you're an awful head coach, but you're an excellent coordinator, that job, Dennis Allen someone will pay him $3.5, $4 million to be their defensive coordinator next year. How many jobs in the private sector, when you're not the alpha, you don't own the company, you're not the CEO, you get to be a guy where you have zero accountability if someone gets in trouble, a draft pick, nothing's on you except half the team calling the game. And Dennis Allen's proven he can be really good at that. That's what he's meant to be. And there's nothing wrong with it. Now, if he was going to have a chance to be successful, like he hits his wagon, and Mickey Loomis too, but you know, GMs are always good at like, not my fault. My head coach sucks. Injuries. I pick good players. It's not me. So it's just point fingers. Is that they hit their wagon to Derek Carr. And as my guy Josh Dubois, who lives in the Bay Area and is very, very, has a lot of good information on the old X channel, formerly known as Twitter. So Dennis Allen is the first coach of the Super Bowl era to get fired from 2 different jobs with the same starting quarterback. They went all in on Derek Carr, like he could save their franchise. And last year, for the majority of it, he was terrible. And then when the season was essentially over, he played well at the end of the season. Offensive coordinator gets fired. And then this season, it's like they started out like, this is the greatest show on turf. Derek's figured it out. And then he didn't. And then he got injured. And then he came back. And then he lost to the Panthers. Like, he is, at this point in time, a type guy, when you're paying a lot of money, who's going to let you down. A lot of coaches have got fired under his watch. And it's because, like, he does make a lot of money. And he is paid like he is one of the top dogs. And I would say it's been a long time since he played really good NFL football. He's a bottom 10 quarterback in the NFL. Period, point blank, end of story. He had a rough go with the Raiders, turmoil in that organization constantly. But like the last several years, like he's kind of proven. He kind of is what he is. Like there aren't any, there's no more this could be the year. And Dennis Allen paid the price. And obviously, it wasn't all Derek's fault. They had other injuries, but he's just not good enough. Like, under no circumstances, if you're a 35, $30 million quarterback, do you lose to that Panthers team? You should beat them with one arm and a bad leg and your eyes shut. So to lose that game, like, there are repercussions. And this is not one of those industries like we all know these people. And honestly, some of you watching or listening, I guess you'd be watching this YouTube only, might be this, where your middle management and revenue, there's no way to quantify your success or failure, right? Like with a sales guy, it's very clear, like how much the person is selling. That's why a lot of those good and bad times kind of untouchable if things are going well. I can quantify his ability to generate revenue. I see it all the time in the media world. Like when these writers get fired, it's like, how could they fire him? He doesn't generate any money and he's making a ton of money. It does not add up. In football, when it comes to a coach, it is really, really easy to judge them. Do you win or do you lose? You can make every excuse under the sun. What is your record? And Dennis Allen started 7-10, and then last year had some hollow wins at the end to get to 9-8, but missed the playoffs. And this year, I was guilty. I picked him to make the playoffs. I picked him to win the division. And I don't want to say I was feeling great at 2-0, but I was like, okay, I got a pretty good shot at this. To lose 7 straight games, to roll out Spencer Rattler for a couple weeks, who looked like the worst player in the NFL. I mean, he looked worse than Deshaun Watson. Now, in fairness, that shouldn't be that crazy because he's a rookie, 5th-round pick or whatever. But Deshaun Watson was objectively one of the worst players we've ever seen at the position, and Spencer Rattler felt like he was way worse. So you roll that out, it's like, what are we doing? What's the point of this? And now you make the interim coach, the special teams coach. This is just an organization that, like, Sean Payton, listen, he rubs a lot of people the wrong way. He be pretty cocky, arrogant, sometimes acts like he invented football. But I kind of get it. Like, that organization historically is a fucking joke. I mean, an absolute joke. And he goes, if me and Drew Brees save this bad boy, remove us, good luck. I think Belichick kind of feels that way about New England. Like, yeah, remove me and Tom. See how it goes. Godspeed, Robert and Jonathan. I'll short you. And so far, it's could get really, really ugly. Like, Drake, you're going to have to overcome dysfunction. You see the Raiders. What did they just do? Fired a bunch of coaches. Of course they did. You know why? They always fire coaches in the middle of the season. Head coaches, coordinators. It's always this guy's fault, this guy's fault. It's football. People get fired in the offseason. Bad organizations are constantly firing people because they have no clue who to hire next. None. And I don't know Mickey Loomis personally. Everyone seems to like him. But, like, who's going to be their next head coach? My educated guess as I sit here on the day that Dennis Allen got fired would be Aaron Glenn. Why? He's having a lot of success with Detroit. He coached under Sean Payton for years and Dennis Allen when he was the defensive coordinator. Just kind of easy. Like, that would be my guess. They'll just hire a guy that they know that is doing well and that everyone would give you credit for hiring. Will that work? I got no clue. He's kicking ass with Detroit. Of course he is. Their team's incredible. Can you just put him with New Orleans and this roster and the quarterback situation? I mean, if Rattler and Derek can figure that out, probably not. It probably will not work. And this is an organization that never has any cap space because they're always, robbing Peter to pay Paul, and they're just out of whack. And they're not even the most popular team in their own state. That would be LSU football. And they can fly under the radar when they're shitty a little bit, but I don't know. I think that if you remove the Sean Payton Band-Aid, this is what just prepare to suck. I would just bet on them. If you say, what do you think the Saints record's going to be the next 5 or 6 years? I would just say shitty. I would just expect to be bad. That's what that would be my educated guess. Bad. Down the train tracks to losing. Like, win or lose. I'd be like, they're probably going to go on the losing track. And Dennis Allen gets the blame. And listen, not any good. He's a number 2. You think people are going to be lined up for this job? I think by far the best candidate that they could get that would also get them a lot of credit would be Aaron Glenn. Like, oh, that's a good hire. And maybe it is, maybe it's not, but you don't win anything when your quarterback position is not any good, when you never have any flexibility. So I just think the Saints are just, this is what bad organizations do.